Okay, let's talk about Japanese weaponry today, and mostly about katanas, some of my favourite. I love oriental weaponry such as katanas. I like European medieval weaponry. I have a selection of some of all of that type of stuff, but no, it's all reproductions. There's no original pieces. I don't have the money for anything like that, so it'd be lovely one day to own a real Japanese katana or a real medieval period sword. Yeah, that would be a dream, but at the moment we are just looking at replica weapons. But even though they are classed as replica, they are nonetheless as deadly, as if not more deadly than the original counterparts would have been, mainly due to modern day steels, and the forging processes are much better today. They're more strictly, tightly controlled. The weapons are stronger than they ever was before in the past. Okie dokie, what do you get for your money when you buy your first sword? Okie dokie, right. The first thing is, I'm not a sword expert, so just it's purely my advice on my personal opinions on stuff that I actually do. So I've been using weapons for many years because I'm a martial artist, but I'm no sword expert. But I do love swinging swords about and cutting things with them. So right, and what do you get for your money? Right, firstly, how much do you want to spend? Yeah. What do you want it for? Do you want it to stick on the wall? If you want it to stick on the wall, you can get something for 30, 40 pounds maybe, that looks really nice, that looks the business, and it's going to stick on the wall. But I wouldn't recommend using that because it could possibly be dangerous, because it will be things like these. They look nice on the wall, but they're only a stainless steel blade. Yeah, it's a stainless steel blade. If you hit anything hard with this, if you hit any wood, if I did any cutting with this, or I could cut with this, but if I missed and hit a wooden stand or something, if I was cutting soft targets, I can actually cut with, I've got a couple of stainless steel cheap blades that I do actually sometimes use for cutting, but luckily I've never missed. Not to say I'm that good at cutting, which I'm not, but I've been lucky I've never missed, because if you do miss, you can use these on, 2 litre pop bottles, whatever. But if you miss, you pay a high risk of it fracturing, pieces of stainless steel everywhere, which could be very dangerous. So I really don't recommend you buy anything like this if you plan on using it. Yeah, okie dokie. So the next one up for usability would be something like this, which is a Ronin entry-level katana. This is a 1045 steel. It's a mild steel. They are designed for cutting purposes. They are designed for cutting mats, for cutting water bottles. It's plenty strong enough for doing things like that. It's differentially hardened, which means the spine is softer and more flexible than the edge. If you can see on there, this one has got a genuine hamon. The hamon line that runs along the edge, that's the tempering hardness line of the katana. Yeah. And this one's got a BoHI as well, which is a groove cut into the sword to lighten the sword. Some people like those, some people don't. I particularly do. I think they look nicer in a weapon. Some people say, yeah, well, it makes it weaker. It maybe does make the sword the slightest bit weaker, but it's not enough to warrant not buying one. It depends what you want. If it was a solid bladed sword, it might be 3% stronger. I don't know, I'm just plucking that figure out of the air, but it could be the tiniest bit stronger. But what do you want? You would have a more powerful swing with a heavier blade, but with a lighter blade you'd be faster. And as you know, in the world of martial arts, you need a bit of both. You need a bit of power and speed. So there's a compromise between the two. So I do like swords with the BoHI, or the blood groove as some people call them. So this is made by Ronin Katana. It's an entry-level model, and this is from Oriental Weaponry UK, or Blades UK, and they cost about £112. But which is nothing. I think it's an £111, £112, something like that. but this is one that you can actually use. I won't recommend cutting thick bits of wood or anything ridiculous with it, because you're going to damage the blade, yeah? But this is a hardened katana that I can use, yeah? There's lots of different ones in the range with the entry level. This is a green Ito or green grip on this. I'm well aware of all the Japanese terminology for all the fittings and the blade and all the rest of it, but we live in the UK. I don't have to speak Japanese, and I don't follow any traditional you know, Japanese sword arts. I just like to play about with stuff like this myself, see what works and what doesn't work. And you know, I cut bits of wood, tatami mats, water bottles, fruit and things like that, which is just fun stuff to do really. So that's another entry level Ronin katana, which I highly recommend, because at £111 they are fantastic. You can't get anything better for the money. There's lots of sword manufacturers about, but in the UK it's mostly Ronin, Hanwei and Cheness. They're your three main ones. They're the three main reputable dealers. You'll see loads of others when you're around gift shops on holiday and stuff like that, but most of them you take a chance when you buy them. And you know, if you're not aware of the manufacturer, there could be a certain type of steel, but you know, not tempered very well, which could go for any sword, to tell the truth, no matter how much you spend. So don't necessarily think you can spend £1,000, you're going to hit something with a katana and it's not going to break, because at the end of the day it's a piece of metal, and if you do something silly with it, there's a good chance that it's going to break. Okie dokie. Next one, I've got another stainless steel one here. This stainless steel one, this is a stainless steel one, but I do use this for cutting fruit and bottles and stuff like that. And this one was about £170, I think. This is quite a good one, even though it's stainless steel. Now I wouldn't trust it if I hit any pieces of wood or anything like that, so that's not a very good idea at all. But I have enjoyed using this. It's very lightweight, it's a very nice looking sword. So, but then again, stainless steel, if I wanted a battle ready katana, then I would not choose a stainless steel blade for safety purposes. You know, choose a high carbon steel one. As I say, these Ronin ones, 1045, fantastic. And there is about, if you go into the Oriental Weaponry UK, look at the Ronin swords, the entry level ones. There's probably 30 different models of these swords. They're all using the same blades, but you've got different grips and wrappings and tsuba. The tsuba's the guard, obviously, there. So you've got lots of different colours and arrangements and different coloured sayas. The saya is what you keep your katana in. Some people call them scabbards or whatever, but you know, it's not the correct terminology, but I'm not too worried about that at this time. Okay, one of the other next manufacturers, which I just mentioned, is Hanwei. This is a Hanwei Practical Plus Katana. It's got an imitation, well, it's like a leatherette grip on it, which is quite nice to grip. This is a differentially hardened katana again, meaning the spine is softer than the edge. These are really nice, well known for dojo training, for people who are more experienced and into using the swords if they're doing a proper sword art. These are about £300 in the UK. It's quite lightweight, quite fast to use, and it's a very good, from one well-known manufacturer, so it's a very good, strong sword. So I would recommend that as probably a next level up from the entry level ones. Some of my favourite ones, well, my favourite one at the moment would be possibly this. This is a Ronin DoJo Plus. This is a 1060 through hardened mono-tempered blade. This differs from the other type of blades because this is through hardened, so it means the spine is just as hard as the edge of the blade. There's no visible hamon line on this sword. Yeah. The spine It's the same hardness all the way through the sword. Yeah. This DoJo Pro, I think this is the number 11 with a mushashi style ring tsuba. Very lightweight, 27-inch blade. This only weighs about £2, 3 ounce, just over. And it's got the BoHI on this blade. Makes an amazing noise. I don't know if you're going to hear it, if I can swing it in here, but probably can't hear that very loud. But it's very loud. When I swing it full power, it's a lot louder than that. So this sword, you see a lot of the swords will have BoHIs cut into the blades, but they sound different on the swings. Some are barely audible, then others, like this one, this is the loudest one I've got. I mean, I've got a few swords with the BoHI cut into the blades, but this DoJo Pro is so loud. It's really nice when you swing this, and you know you've got the angle right, you know, when you swing it, and it's cutting through the air, and the noise it makes is fantastic. This is probably, you know, one of my favourite swords. So, blade steels, stainless steel. $10.45, as in the entry-level Ronin katanas, which is a good basic steel. It's quite a strong sword. $10.60, as in the DoJo Pro, which is a slightly better steel, and the Hanwei Practical Plus is $10.60 as well, which is a good all-round steel. There's so many different types of steel to consider, but it depends how much money you want to spend as well. So it really does come down to budget and what you're using the sword for. There's so many different types of swords made out of tool steels nowadays, like T10 tool steel. There's L6 bainite steel, which is supposed to be one of the best available and the strongest for katanas. But it depends on budget. I don't like to spend too much on a sword because I'll probably spend £300 or £400. That's the most I'd be prepared to spend on a sword, because I'm buying a sword to use it. I'm not buying it just to stick for display. They make beautiful display pieces. Anyone who appreciates them, they're just a really nice display piece. But I want to be able to take my swords off the wall, go outside. I want to be able to cut something up with them. If I spend £1,000 on a sword, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to want to do that. Yeah, I don't want no scratches and marks. I know with my swords, I'll take them outside, cut, and I'm going to get scratches on the blade. Yeah, big deal. It's a tool. It's to do a job. If I wanted something amazing to just look at, then and I spend a lot of money on it, I'm not going to touch it. When I buy something, I'll buy something that can actually be used. Saying that, I've got all these stainless steel models, but they are just display pieces. You know, most of those will be display pieces. Most of those will never cut anything. But probably this is my favourite sword. It's the DoJo Pro number 11. I think that's my favourite. Also coming a close second would be the DoJo Pro Katana. It's got a shorter blade, it's a lot lighter. It's through hardened blade, nice strong blade. If you wanted one sword that you knew could more or less do it all, then I would recommend the DoJo Pros, or probably the Hanwei Practical Plus swords for the budget. I'm talking about for the money. So yeah, this Katana, I think this runs about £248 or something like that from Oriental Weaponry. So it's a nice, very light, you can move it very fast. It's a very short blade. One of my favourite. If you hit it slightly like that with the face of the blade, you're going to damage your sword, even on a bottle of water. Yeah, so it's got to be a clean cut with good edge alignment. People say, oh, you know, it's easy cutting water bottles, it shows no skill whatsoever. Well, I would disagree with that, because if you are slightly off, just slightly, the blade will roll over onto the face of the blade, and then you could bend your sword. So you've really got to be careful what you're doing. Yeah, think about it when you make. You've got to practice. You've got to practice. The key to using a sword, it's all in the wrist and the forearms, and it's blade alignment. Blade alignment. The edge of that blade must be on that target, not slightly off center. Yeah, and also when you cut, you're pulling through the target that makes the cut. It's not like an axe where you're chopping. Yeah, you chop with an axe. With a sword, it is a slice. So even when you don't think you are slicing, you are slicing. So you'll do a cut and you'll be pulling the blade through the target. Yeah. Okie dokie. Next ones is, they're a soft target as well. Milk cartons. So pretty safe targets unless you hit the bottle tops. Some of the bottle tops are very hard, and if you hit the top of the bottle, sometimes you're okay, but there is a chance you can damage or roll the edge of the blade. So try to get good accuracy, try to stay away from that bottle cap. Then you go to tougher bottles, such as this, which has got a lot tougher skin. It's harder to cut. There's a lot more chance that you're going to damage the sword if you do not have proper blade alignment when you're doing it. Yeah, but they're still really easy to cut. Once it's technique, you know, it's all about technique. It's not about strength. As long as you've got a reasonably sharp blade, it's just technique. In fruits, apples, oranges, whatever you're cutting, if you put that straight back into your sayer and then leave it there, forget about it, something pops up, you never clean it, you've got to imagine whatever's on that blade, whatever you've cut, is going straight into that sayer. Now some people will have a cloth on the side and they'll wipe the blade down and then put it away. You see a lot of people doing that, but I would never even do that. If I cut anything, if I cut water bottles or fruit or anything, then I'll just put my sword down on the floor, yeah, and then I will make sure when I've finished doing what I'm doing, I will not put it in the sayer. That's probably why you don't see me on some of my videos cutting something and sticking it in the sayer. No chance. I won't have the sayer near me while I'm cutting, because I'm not going to be tempted to put the sayer, to put the sword straight back inside the sayer. So if you like and respect your weapons, and you don't want them covered in rust and getting tarnished. I mean, I watch some of these videos on YouTube and people saying, oh, look at the steel on my sword, it's crap, what a crap manufacturer, it's all tarnished, it's going rusty. Hello, I've watched previous videos of you cutting stuff and putting it straight in your sayer. So whatever is on your blade goes into there. As soon as you've cut, yeah, when you've finished, don't put it in the sayer, take it in the house, wherever, yeah, wipe the blade down, wipe it down, then oil it, then maybe wipe it down again, you know, so you've got anything, any sticky residue, any water droplets off the blade, and then oil it again before you put it away. Hope you found this quite interesting. Make sure you look at some of my cutting, martial arts and other videos that I have on YouTube. And remember, if you buy any of these, any weapon like this katana, look after it. Don't leave fruit and anything you cut on the blade. Look after the blade.